Welcome to EnVision Center News, where we discuss community impact and involvement with today's nonprofit leaders and philanthropists.
Hi, Brittany. Welcome. Welcome to the podcast. Thanks for joining. It's about time. I've been, running into you at your desk many times when I come in here to record.
Right?
So it's great that finally we get to have a conversation. But can you just tell us a little bit about yourself? Tell me a little bit of your origin story.
Well, let's see. So I'm not originally from Idaho. I moved here from Massachusetts, but
That's a big move.
Yeah, it's a big move. But we're from my family's from Wyoming.
Oh.
And so just kind of migrated across the U.S. We were all over, coast to coast. But moved here 2 years ago. And
How did you know this place existed?
Idaho or the EnVision Center?
Well, I guess I'll say specifically northern Idaho.
My sister. My
Okay.
sister lives here.
Okay,
Yeah,
so she kind of started the trend.
Mhm,
Okay.
Yeah, so she's in Coeur d'Alene.
Okay.
And so I don't live locally, but I travel here like every week. So I'm in the area a whole lot, meeting community partners, talking to business people, meeting participants. So
Did you have a job and stuff lined up, or was it kind of a blind move when you came to Idaho? Like, well, I'll figure something out when I get there.
it was kind of a blind move. I started first with private caregiving, and then from there it just kind of morphed and changed. I came across an opportunity to be an online personal admin assistant. It was both online and in person for a friend of mine in Dalton Gardens, and he at the time had a roofing company in San Francisco he was managing remotely. And so I was coordinating things and connecting with crews and talking with people and handling things on the ground and basically just getting everything done that he wasn't able to. And it was an incredible job. I mean, it was from that experience working for my friend Mike, it changed me.
I don't think somebody would hear like admin type of role and think, oh, that's a life-changing role necessarily.
It wasn't the role that changed me. It was the person I got to work with and the man I got to work for. He was honorable and a person of integrity and incredibly smart. And I recall having a conversation with him. I think it was probably about we were reupholstering some chairs in the dining room, and we were figuring out what's the plan for this, how is this supposed to look, this type of thing, and then coming up with some sort of a diagram and speaking to him about this and then breaking things down, and in the process of creating somewhat of a database, like different types of spreadsheets and understanding different types of information and that sort of thing. And I remember speaking to him one day, and my mouth just completely fell open because I had this epiphany, and I realized that my whole life I had been waiting to meet someone like me, someone who's articulate and intelligent and kind and thoughtful and a high-level thinker, someone who just thinks on a completely different scale. And I realized that I was sitting across from someone who honestly could have been my brother. And I was like, oh my word, it is possible. I got that light bulb moment where I realized that who I was so much greater than what I had thought. That I had this capability and this ability that I could truly walk into a situation and, one, not be afraid to be told no. Fine, tell me no. Someone else is going to tell me yes, and it's okay that you're telling me no. I'll honor that. You might tell me yes one day, right? Or walking into a situation, doesn't matter how much money people are making or what's in the room. When I step into the room, I belong there. I own that space. It belongs to me, and I belong there. And became this place of this deep settling in my personhood that changed me. And
that's because he supported you, he valued your opinion, he trusted you. Just that kind of treatment from a boss or colleague you had, and then he could back it all up with his own intelligence. So it wasn't like someone who gave you all the freedom because they were incompetent.
Right.
They were still highly competent, very good at what they do, but still gave you the freedom and still trusted you, that kind of thing.
Yeah, plus mentorship. And so seeing what I was capable of, and that really, it was my own self-limiting beliefs up to that point that kept me small. And it grew me on the inside. Like that mountain of a woman that I knew was there finally came forward. And from there, at one point, he was like, listen, do you have worked yourself out of a job? And I was like, what? And it shocked me. And he said, you have. He said, here's the thing, that who you are, what you're capable of, and what you're going to do is too great for what I have to offer you. Mm-hmm. He said, I need you to go do something bigger and greater. Mm-hmm. And it was like that shoving out of the nest that rocked me. And I went from that to working as an accounts manager for a roofing company for about 6 months or so. And
did he help? Was that a connection you had made working with him, or did you just go out and apply for something new? Or?
It was working for another friend of mine.
Okay.
You know, the need had presented itself. And I was like, well, here I am. Do you need help? Yes, I'm drowning. Great. And so learned what I needed to from the position. And I didn't realize toward the end of working there how happy I wasn't, how satisfied I wasn't. So I was unsatisfied, and I wasn't at peace. And I mean, it was a brand new business, no benefits, no nothing. So I'm a single mom. If I'm not working, there's no income, right? Yeah. If there's no PTO, I can't take any time off and I can't care for myself. Mm-hmm. And so it was really, really, really hard on me, and it was stressful for me. And I left there, and was about a month and a half before I came across the position that I'm in now. Mm-hmm. And it was.
So you left without having this position lined up, another kind of leap of faith, if you will. Yeah.
I was like, okay, nope, this is not for me. Mm-hmm. I'm capable. I have the ability to. Here I am negotiating with insurance companies, talking to people who, don't want to give me money, and then having them give me, lots more money. But, I thought, why? I'm not serving my purpose, right? My heart is for people. Mm-hmm. And so within that, I found this position as an outreach and engagement specialist. And I thought at first, I was like, I think this is fake. I'm not sure about this business. And then I did a little more research, and I realized that it really was a legit company. And it's not just national, but international. And so I put in my application, and it was through a series of filling out, what it felt like hundreds of applications, which I'm sure a lot of people can identify with these days. Yeah. And that I became really comfortable with AI. And so I created this document. It was like my resume, but I labeled it Resume Guts. So it was like everything, it's true, everything within my resume that I had done that I could recall, right? With all of these skills that I could even possibly pull out of, right? So it listed everything. It would have been way too long for a real resume. Right. But then being able to throw that into an AI engine, and then using the job description and the company website and that sort of thing. And then, these types of things, that it wasn't until I had started to deal with AI that I realized that I had many more applicable skills than I realized that I did. Mm-hmm. That the sum of the entirety of my professional experience to that point was actually quite profound. Mm-hmm. And I came to this place where I was like, okay, we're here to do hard things. We're here to do different things. Mm-hmm. I want to step out in the water in this one, right? And so I jumped way out, and I remember this series of events, as far as interviews, went by just lightning fast. Within a week, I had 3 interviews for the same company. Oh. And it was quick. I think it was within a span of a week. There was one day, and then there was it was okay, I'd like to set up an interview with you. And I'm like, great. So then he interviews with me with another person in our office, and great. Within less than 24 hours, hey, I'd really like to set you up with our regional director and have you talk to her, and she manages the whole state of Idaho. And I was like, okay. And so set up that with her, and something that really sticks with me is that she said something to the effect of, when you think of this position, what was it? When you think of this position, how do you see yourself within this position, like in the capacity of the position you're applying for? And I thought about it, and in my brain, I saw a picture, and it was like one of those electric neon signs that actually buzzed when you pulled the little cord. It was like, and it said, Hope Dealer. And I thought, oh, I don't think I can say that. And I was like, I'm like, give me just a second to think. And it was like, I saw it again, and I went, I can see myself in this position as a hope dealer. Mm-hmm. And she said, that's exactly it. Oh. And I was like, it's the function of freedom is to set other people free, right? It's to set somebody else free, and that's what Toni Morrison said. And then, but it's not just that. It's holding out this candle of hope and looking at someone who's walked a very similar road to you and saying, I have this candle of hope. Do you dare? Do you dare to believe in yourself? Do you dare to gamble on yourself to win? Mm-hmm. Do you dare? And seeing if people have the courage to bet on themselves and like take that leap of faith, really. Mm-hmm. And I mean, because I had that moment in my life where someone believed in me, someone encouraged me, and they may not have funded my dream, but that lit that fire of hope within me. And then when that fire was lit, then the light really shone on who I was and how I was really created to be. Mm-hmm. In a sense, and I'm still discovering that, but still, and it changed me. And that's the change I long to see in others. Empowered people empower people.
So can you describe the organization and what they, you and I know, but can you, for our audience, explain in more detail what it is? How are you a hope dealer, and how does that a part of the org's mission, I guess?
Absolutely. So I work for Equus Workforce Solutions. We are a career development company, and our mission statement truly it's that we change lives. And within that, we work with individuals who are exiting the criminal justice system. We work with veterans, with folks who are using low-income assistance, people moving from one industry to another, people laid off to no fault of their own in the last 3 years. People who, at the end of the day, or even like single parents or recently separated or divorced, both male and female, right? But we work with a whole, like a wide gamut of people. And within what we do, we help remove barriers between people and their employment. And we don't just work with participants, but we work with businesses, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But with participants, like a barrier to your success could be, I don't have my GED. Mm-hmm. Like life was really hairy for me. I dropped out of school, and there's only so much I can do. And I keep on trying to do these things, but because I don't have this, well, we fund that. So the classes are free. Like here at NIC, the Extension Office, they have, the classes are free. It's just the test that costs money, right? Mm-hmm. So what we offer with people who apply to Equus, it's, equusidaho.com, and then they create an account for job seeker, is that we not only pay for the testing fee, but then we also offer a $600 incentive fee. So with each test they passed, and there's 4 of them, we actually pay people to pass their tests. Mm-hmm. So that's like GED, right? But then you could look at like CDLs are hot up here, right? So someone would say, hey, I'm working at the grocery store and I'm making like $15 to $18 an hour. But if I had my CDL, I could be making $30, $35 an hour, right? I could see a hope and a future for myself, right? And so I go, okay, well, we can just take NIC, for example, or SAGE, or, whatever. At NIC, their CDL program is $4,800, right? That's a barrier and a half. Someone could save for 5 years and might not be able to save that much, depending upon how much they're struggling or where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
And so, let's say it's $4,800. It's really like $4,796,
Yeah.
right? But $4,800. Let's say because there's Idaho Launch. Even if we didn't use Idaho Launch, we could fund all of that. So we could take care of the entire $4,800 plus the testing fees, plus books and supplies, things like that. And let's say this person we'll just use Jim for an example, right? He wants a CDL. I always make up this character, and his name is Jim. And he wants to get a CDL. So he's like, okay, it comes in, he applies online, makes a job seeker account, and then within 2 business days, someone get back to him. That's his intake. And within 2 to 3 weeks, he meets with a career coach. They go through a couple of brief assessments. They're usually about 10 minutes apiece. It starts with 3, it's up to 7, right? So they're not going to sit in front of a computer and rot for 5 hours, right? And so talk about his interests, what this looks like, the information that they've gathered. And then from that, they go, okay, well, either this person is already goal-oriented, or maybe he might not know what he wants to do. Could go either way, right? And so from there, then let's say he's like, I'm straight and narrow what I want to do. He wants to get a CDL. Great. So we get him enrolled, get that situated, pay for things, get it all in order for him. And then from there, he does his training. He's doing great, right? He comes away, he tests out, he gets a certification, and he is pumped. Mm-hmm. Well, at this point, he's like, okay, well, I haven't really interviewed in 5 years. I don't really know what to do. So we work on interview skills, right? Coming up with a set of questions they might ask him, figuring out how to ask those interview questions of the person who is interviewing you, But then, so it's not just the interview preparation and readiness. Then it's also helping with a resume, right? And then let's say he's like, I haven't interviewed in so long, I don't even have nice church clothes, right? Well, fine. That's just fine, because then we can help him get him a set of interview clothes.
What can't you do?
There's a lot, right? And so then even from there, so it's like a nice pair of shoes. Maybe he needs a nice polo or a pair of Dockers and a belt. Maybe he hasn't had a haircut in 3 months, right? We can get him ready, set up, prepared, and set up for success. From the inside out. So just not up here, but out here too. Mm-hmm. So, it goes from external to internal, right? And so from there, after we've done the interview preparation and the resume stuff, then it's okay. We're going to start, at this point, we're already sending him positions he's applying for because he qualifies, right? And so we are connected with businesses within the community. So we're sending him applications. We're like, okay, so he fills these out. Let's say he goes and he says, hey, I'm really excited about this interview, but I can't get there, right? I don't have the money for gas. I've just barely been making it, right? And so we're like, okay, well, we can assist him getting to interviews with gas vouchers. Mm-hmm. So, and then from there, let's say he gets a position, and we are pumped for Jim, right? Pumped. So we're excited for Jim. So he gets the interview. He just absolutely does incredibly well. And he's offered the position. We're like, well, fantastic. He's like, okay, so, and he'll bring us a list of, okay, so these are the clothes and the items that I need for this position. Let's say he needs Carhartts or Ducks, right? Let's say he needs a nice pair of boots. And I'm not talking something from Walmart, something that's going to hold well together for a long while, right? And then let's say he needs his neons and then a winter coat. Great, dude, we have got you set away, right? Got you settled. Mm-hmm. And so from beginning to end, we holistically, more than anything, it's about setting that person up for success, for long-term success. And I think about this and I think, okay, so we say our goal, our mission statement is that we change lives. I look at it and it's not just us changing lives. It's individual. Yes, it starts small, it gets big, right? So if we're changing lives, then that's that person. He's going to feel better about himself. He's going to be able to show up with his wife, be able to sit at peace at the table with his kids, right? Provide for his family, be the provision and the protector, right? And it's going to build him up as a man and a person. And that in turn is going to change his family. His children are going to be more secure, going to be easier for them to go to school and do well and do better. Dad comes home, he's in a great mood, right? Or let's say he's had a hard day, but he's still present.
Right.
He doesn't have to go to second or third job.
Right. He
right?
gets rest and he has purpose.
Yes.
And, yeah.
His wife isn't stressed out, so then it goes from individual to family. And then community, right? He's able to be more involved in the community, and that in turn, he has more purchasing and buying power. Then that means he's going to be able to participate in the economy as well. So it goes from small to big.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How are you able to do all this? Like, where does all the funding come from?
Sure. We have received the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act. It's a federally funded grant. Every state in the United States receives this grant, it's incredible. There's 3 parts to it. Like there's the I know that there's like the adult and dislocated. And then there's also displaced homemaker, right? So there's those 2. And then there's the youth WIOA. So we hold the 2 adult ones, and then the state of Idaho holds the youth WIOA. So the youth WIOA is available as well.
Okay. Wow, that's hefty. How do people find out about you, or how do they know, like, do people find out about you through their searching on Google, and how do they know to come to the EnVision Center and see you here?
Yeah.
How does the word get out? Because I had never heard of you guys before.
Right. I hear that often. And so, okay, how do I explain it? So that's a great question. Okay, so how do people hear about us? So I connect with community partners. So I'm starting at the level that I'm able to, right? So I'm going out into rural communities, into even like our metro community, like Kootenai, right? Metro. But going out into our communities, meeting community partners, and then, saying, hey, where's the need? Right? Getting involved within community organizations, like I am here at the EnVision Center, the Benevolence Committee or Coalition. I can't remember what it's called.
This is just a great place, too, to hear conversations about.
It's wonderful, right? So like getting involved in different types of communities. So whether it's in the veteran-based community, my husband is a combat veteran, and so I'm able to access that and spend time and love people there as well. But then also able to reach out to moms who are single, right? Or even moms, well, of course, moms who are single, but of course they have children. I said moms with children. It's kind of redundant. But then even into other aspects of the community. So I ask myself, where am I going to find the people who need our services the most? And oftentimes that's with community organizations. So getting to know them, becoming collaborators with community partners, becoming that referral point, but then also, going, okay, so what sort of events can we get involved in? The ones that are already running, right? Things that are coming up and that sort of thing. But then what sort of events can we start? Mm-hmm. So by we're able to get the word out. I mean, it's bit by bit by bit, but it's, things like this that help us get the word out. Mm-hmm. Or
how long has Equus been around?
So, here in the state of Idaho for 4 years.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is our 5th year.
Okay. And, I sort of cut you off. Did you have a thought that you were finishing?
No,
because I wanted to ask you, too, about, and this is related, you're plugging in the community, but then you partner with businesses, too, to help place people into jobs.
Yeah.
Can you talk more about that?
Sure, absolutely. Okay, so within the umbrella of Equus, so we're housed in the Department of Labor down in Post Falls. And like I said before, I cover all 5 northern counties. So we have our business services consultant, and they connect with businesses in the community, so both rural and local. It's all local for us, right? Yeah. Everywhere I go, it's local.
Yeah.
So with local communities and local businesses, and there's a couple of things. Okay, so one, it's not my bag, so I know like this much, and there might be more to it, right? However, something that's really cool about what we do is because we work with people who are wanting to find full-time gainful employment in in-demand career fields, like that's trades or administration, medical, those types of things, with a wide berth of different types of positions, right? We are able to connect with businesses that are needing people like that. So let's say, for instance, the EnVision Center, right? Or it could be a business downtown or a trucking company per se. We're right here near Lighthouse, right? So let's say they're looking for CDL drivers. Like, well, great. So one, we already I don't know if people in the community know this, but NIC is now partnering with Lighthouse. We're going to bring the CDL program over here, which I'm really excited about. But let's say they're looking for CDL drivers, right? People who are certified. Then we can go, okay, so we can connect with Lighthouse and go, hey, this is what we have to offer. We can start funneling our participants toward you. We can make sure that your business is highlighted and with people who are looking for these positions in this area and that sort of thing. And then on top of that, there's like a 30 to 90 day probationary period, when you apply someplace, where they're going, okay, so are you a good fit, right? And they're not paying you benefits and that sort of thing yet, but it's coming. So that 30 to 90 day window, we offer 50% wage reimbursement, right? So let's say that person is making, $30 an hour. We're going to reimburse $15 of every hour that they're working.
Wow.
Right. Then the company gets to, one, pocket that, right? The person is paid all the way. But then they're reimbursed for that 50%. And then not only that, but then we can even work out like an on-the-job training so that person is learning their position in that organic area, right? It becomes organic. And it's an incredible program, the way that we're able to partner with businesses and not just participants. And it just becomes this holistic thing.
Yeah, that like all sounds too good to be true.
I know it does, but it is true. Like there's really, to our program, there's really no downsides. It's really easy to qualify. People just need to be suitable. Right? And that suitability piece is, hey, are you willing to work with a career coach and form an employment plan? Right? Are you willing to put in the hard work? Right? You're willing to be accountable, right? And it's not everyone is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you find people that aren't willing to do those things, and it's kind of sad, but it's understandable. Not everyone's ready. But we want the ones that are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's some of your favorite? Obviously, you don't need to share names or anything, and maybe Jim was based on a real person that you're talking about, but. Like, can you give me an example of a success story that has really just lit you up and made you be like, right. I am doing the job that I need to be doing?
There are, it's always really gratifying within our team communications to see people that are pressing toward the goal. They're hitting that goal line. And then suddenly you see someone with their certification standing in front of a truck, right? And then, hey, I got this placement. This is where I'm working now. And you're like, yes, bro, keep going. It's it lights me up. At the same time, like there's also like places and times in the community, because currently I'm not doing enrollment, so I'm not directly involved with that. But there are places within the community where I see that shift and that change and that spark in a person, and I'm like, yeah, that's it. It's right there. And that presses me on, because I've been in so many of these places and spaces of the people that I'm serving. To be able to sit across from someone and say, I've been there. I've been there. And I know that if I can make it through something like that, I know that you can too.
Gosh, I had a question at the tip of my brain and I just lost it with that image you were just presenting about somebody working. Okay, I got it back. So if you've said that someone could have a really good plan, like they know I want my CDL, but also someone can go and be like, I just need a job and I don't really know where to go. Do you help them with like, do you do personality assessments and things like that? Or do you just talk to them and say, what interests you? How do you help someone who's feeling like, I'm totally lost?
It's both of those things. Is sitting down and having that one-on-one conversation. I mean, that's what a career coach does. But then also it comes along with those assessments. Like, hey, based upon your answers and your interests, like this is what we're coming up with. Does this align with how you view or how you see yourself personally, or something that you'd be willing or wanting to do? Is this something you'd be willing to explore?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And what percent, or maybe you don't even know, is it like do most people have a kind of an idea, or do many not? What's the ratio roughly?
I don't know.
Don't know.
No. That's a good question, though.
Yeah. Because I'm wondering if someone's listening to this, just whether they have an idea of what they want to do or they don't. Is it useful to maybe try to come up with something, or is it, do a little bit? I feel like a lot of people just don't take the time to do some self-reflection. They just get overwhelmed and then they start spiraling and panicking.
Right.
But maybe if they did sit down, they'd be like, oh, wait, no, I know I want to work outside or with my hands or whatever. And at least have some of those things outlined or established before they would come in and talk to somebody or reach out. Like, what would you advise somebody do who's listening to this and thinking, I think I could maybe use their help? What would be like step one for them? Just pick up the phone and call, or something else?
Well, step one is to go to Equus, Idaho, and that's EQUS, Idaho.com. Go to the Apply Now tab. There's going to be like a 4-minute video about WIOA, the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act here in Idaho, what we do, what the expectations are, what this is going to look like. And then there's maybe a 2-minute application after that.
Okay.
They click submit, and then they go to idahoworks.gov, and they create an account for a job seeker. Those are the two things mainly.
Okay.
From there, we'll have someone reach out to them within 2 business days for intake. And then once that's done, then they have access to our career coaches, to their calendars, and they can get them scheduled in.
Okay. That's amazingly simple. What if they only need help with a piece of this? So let's say they're gym and they have gotten funding one way or another to do maybe through a different program or something to get their CDL or some kind of certification, but they need help with the clothes or something, for the interview. They need some interview prep, or they don't have the budget to get the clothes that they needed to have for an interview. Would you help with just pieces of that puzzle, or do you have to kind of holistically go through kind of start to finish?
Yeah, sure. I believe so. It's part of what we do. If it's a barrier to your employment, then we very well may be able to do that. I mean, it depends upon what the career coaches decide is the right course of action, and we can go from there.
But they definitely have to talk to a career counselor in one way or another. But it just the amount of time they spend with them will be dependent on what their needs are, basically.
Correct.
Because I think some people might be like, I've got most of what I need, but then when they hear counselor, they're like, well, am I going to have to do hours and hours with this counselor who is going to tell me stuff I already know and not just help me with my specific problem that I have? I could see someone that going through their mind.
Right. I get that. And in all reality, it's the time commitment is going to look like, like that 15 to 20 minutes applying for the Equus Idaho and the idahoworks.gov, right? Getting that piece done. Maybe spending 15 minutes with someone, an intake person, and then an hour-long appointment with a career coach. From there, once you start going through, whether it's education, your program, whatever that may look like, you're checking in like once a month. Emailing them saying, hey, this is what I'm learning. It's going really well. Or, hey, I'm really struggling. I'm looking for a survival job, because that's what we call it. So let's say person's going through training and that sort of thing. They're going to need to have a survival job, right? Something that will keep them afloat, keep them stable to the very best of their ability while they're chasing after their dream.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said earlier, it all just sounds too good to be true. I mean, it truly is an amazing program. I can see why you're so hyped.
Yeah, I love
to get to deliver all this good news to people and just all these opportunities. And I feel like we've covered a ton. Is there anything we didn't? We talked about, the individual that comes to the door. We talked about the businesses that you work with and getting involved in you connecting with organizations within the community here at the EnVision Center and beyond. What did we not hit?
I think we pretty much covered it all.
Okay.
I mean,
it's not like there needs to be more because, like I said, it's amazing as is.
Right. There's really no downsides.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're applying for a program if you want full-time, gainful employment in an in-demand career field. And now that could be, like I said before, a CDL, could be an HVAC certification. It could possibly be like the electrician's program. It's a 4-year program. But, or it could be, so let's say within administration, we have someone who's going through a year-long course for an office administrator. Right? So they're going through this course. It could be an HR generalist or accounting, bookkeeping. Then from there, I mean, of course, there's trades. And then there's also medical. So it could be a medical assistant, a person who needs their CNA. You know, let's say they're a personal care assistant or home health aide. Once you hold your CNA license for a year, you're able to go back to school and get your LPN and fast-tracked. It's a year-long process rather than 2 years to get your LPN. Mm-hmm. So you're able to hold that for a year, get your LPN. From there, then I find this process just absolutely mind-boggling, how they're able to be fast-tracked. From there, then we're also looking at, you know, getting your BSN and then your MSN, and then it's all fast-tracked. Mm-hmm. So you can end up with a master's in a certain amount of time or your bachelor's in a certain amount of time, you know, be able to go from being a CNA to a certified licensed nurse. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah. Oh, and I guess I just thought of this one thing too. So if you're a business that wants to connect and be like, hey, use me, I want to place people through this program, is there some kind of intake form or something for them online too? How do they get plugged in?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I would love to say, yeah, let's, here's the process for that. But I would say, reach out to me.
Okay.
I'm sure we'll have my information available here.
Mm-hmm.
Reach out to me and I'll get you connected.
Okay. Well, great. This was amazing to learn about. I'm so glad we had the conversation so I can learn more and point people in that direction too. You know, I'm just more empowered with information. And like you said, this is how people find out about things. Even if they don't listen to the podcast recording, I listen to you and I talk to people and then those people will talk to, you know, it's just, there's so many different ways that word gets around. And so this is a really cool program. And I'm grateful that you're doing what you're doing and excited that people have hope.
Right. Mm-hmm. I always tell people, last thing I would say, I always tell people, you may not be looking for a job, but you probably know someone who is. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. So, I mean, that goes for churches. Could be like church secretaries, like people who call and say, hey, I really need work or I need help. People going to food banks, you know, that type of thing. Could be anybody, right? You could be having a successful career and go, okay, I am done with this mess. I want to go to something else. I want to do something else, right? It's a lot of things.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. And I know I'll see you around again soon.
Thank you kindly. I just want to let you know that I'm here at the EnVision Center. I plan to be here at least every Thursday to assist people and help them apply.
Do they have to make an appointment? Can somebody just drop in?
Just come on in.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here between 9 and 4 every day. I try to hear a little bit earlier, but 9 at the latest, right? Yeah.
Come see her, folks, or send someone to come see her.
Come on.
Yes, awesome. Thanks so much, Brittany.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. For more information, you can go to crecIdaho.com. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you again soon.